You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 482 for Sunday the 10th of December 2023.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle. And as we record this, in about 24 hours' time, I'm going to be seeing you in person.
We are, and we are having a pre-birthday, happy birthday, Jane, celebration for your good self.
We are. We're going to go and do a bit of that burlesque. Not me and Michelle. Me and Michelle aren't burlesquing. I'll just make that clear. We're going to watch some very talented people do the burlesquing.
Cabaret.
Some cabaret, quite.
As their hashtag goes, you will see things like you have never seen anywhere else before.
Yeah, should be a good night.
It should be, and it is your fair self's birthday on the, 9th of December.
Another year, eh? Never mind.
Another year. I know, time just flies by. Talking of time flying. Guess where I'm going to be in a week?
I know, it's so close. It's when we were chatting the other night and you mentioned it and I was like, how? That's come around. It just seems to have come out of nowhere, Michelle.
I'm not packed. I've not got anything ready. I've not checked my Esther. I can't believe it. It's just flown. And I think being ill in November didn't help. And then having all of these health things going on and trying to get the surgery all arranged and booked in for January and then cover work and make sure work are sorted so that when I go off in January, everything is covered. And then the end of school activities, it's just like overwhelming.
I'm going to say Christmas and the run up to Christmas in particular is a crazy time when you work in education anyway. And then just throw everything else on top and you've got a right smorgasbord of things happening.
I'm not sending Christmas cards this year. I have decided I do not have the time to send any Christmas cards, so I will just send my virtual love.
Yeah, I think Christmas cards are a little bit overrated nowadays. Don't know, maybe? I don't know. I haven't sent them for a few years now. Only special people.
I can't get to the darn post office because they shut so early and they don't open Saturday. So it's like, how do people who actually have a job manage to send parcels?
Yeah, I'm very thankful that our post office is actually in a convenience store. So they're open all sorts of hours.
Handy. Right, we have a podcast to crack on with. And just a big shout out to our wonderful supporters over on Patreon. I have been delighting them with some little, what I'm going to call videoettes of attractions and bits and pieces I've captured during past Walt Disney World and Disneyland trips. If you want to catch anything exclusive like that, patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls, and you can join in the fun for just a few dollars a month, get access to the show early and get extra goodies as well. Nice little plug for us there, Jane. Right, I believe you have got a couple of pieces of history and then we're going to go right into the show.
We are indeed. Yeah, I've actually got a few little bits and pieces. So I'm going to start on the 9th, as it's my birthday, only because, you know, when people go, oh yeah, I know a famous person that's got the same, shares the same birthday as me. So this is one of those ones that I know before I'd even looked it up. So in 1957... Donny Osmond was born. So me and Donny Osmond share a birthday show.
Aww.
Which I think is just kind of cute. It's because it's one of those names that I remember from my childhood. It was, grown up in the 70s and early 80s, it was the Osmonds were a thing, weren't they? So, I have to give him a shout out. 2013, on the 9th of December, saw the release of the Frozen soundtrack. What got me was it spent 33 weeks in the top 5 on the Billboard 200 chart, including 13 weeks at number 1, which I thought was quite amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that would explain why I know most of the lyrics. And I think for subsequent Christmases at preschool, we always had to sing "Let It Go." It obviously made a big impact on the little kiddywinks. Also on the 9th of December, and I'm kind of going backwards in time here, but this will make sense when I talk about my next little bit of history. So 9th of December 1933, saw the release of the Silly Symphony cartoon, The Night Before Christmas. So this was based on Clement Seymour's classic poem. So St. Nick seen delivering toys that he made in Santa's workshop in the 1932 animation, Santa's Workshop, which then leads me on to the 10th of December, because in 1932, on the 10th of December, is when Santa's Workshop was released. So literally both at exactly the same time, a year apart. And I love both of these little animations, cartoons, but Santa's Workshop is a little bit creepy. There is something about it, something about the animation style, because a lot of it is repeated. It has a little bit of a weird vibe to it, but I'd love it anyway. And then just one last little shout out, going even further back in time to 1879. This is the birthday of Ernest Howard Shepard, probably better known as E.H. Shepard, who brought all of A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh and Friends to life with his drawings. He was born in good old St. John's Wood in London, only 5 minutes from the actual birthplace of A.A. Milne himself. He was also known for doing illustrations for Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, which obviously has a bit of a Disney connection as well to Mr. Toad. And his daughter, Mary Shepard, was famous for her illustrations for P.L. Travers' Mary Poppins. So a big family Disney connection. There you go. That's a bit of history for you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, old wise one over there, Janie. Right, we have a challenge on the show and we have a little bit of a discussion as well. But firstly,
okay,
I have been telling my husband for, so many years now, how amazing it is to go and visit Gideon's at Disney Springs.
Yes.
Now, I know this is a polarising topic. There are those people who've had the most decadently delicious cookies from them, and there are those people that says, oh, it was a bit dry.
Yes.
Some people have said their prices are a bit high. But for personally, when you compare the value of almost half a pound of cookie to a little itsy bitsy tiny whiny little Mickey bar, I know where I'd be putting my money. Now, they have got 2 special December cookies, and I am quite intrigued to try at least one of them. And this is the Kris Kringle cookie. White chocolate and coffee bean cookie with flavours of coconut, caramel and vanilla, topped with coarse sugar, sea salt and a pinch of Christmas cheer.
Aww.
I think I'm definitely going to be all in for that. But they've also published their other cookies. So they're going to have a pumpkin bread chocolate crumb cookie.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Very interesting. But one I've had before and it is absolutely amazing. And that's their banana bread chocolate chip cookie. I've had this before and it is sensational.
Oh, I like banana bread as well.
Yeah, so good. I'm very, very excited about that one. Now, they are offering some cake slices that have got my mouth a-watering, because if you gave me the choice, cake slice or cookie, I would always go with cake slice, because for me, a cake slice would probably last me 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, they are kind of generous, aren't they, with their cake slices?
Completely. So we have things such as the Kris Kringle cake slice, red velvet, chocolate everything cake slice, one for Michelle here, peanut butter and jelly, which I've had before, which was amazing. And it even tells me which days I can go and pick up my cake slices, so I can put it in the old Disney touring plan to work out which day I am going to go and visit and get my cake slices and then pop it in the fridge at the old Disney resort.
See, I like a woman who plans.
Absolutely. I have also seen one I've not tried before, and this, oh my word, peanut butter banana double frosted cake slice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that one, Michelle.
A lot going on in that one. I might even try and see if I can smuggle one out of the US and take it home with me. We shall see.
Yeah, because I bet it freezes all right as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. We'll have to see, because it may get eaten on the way back. You never know what airplane food is like.
Well, I was going to say that's the other alternative, isn't it? That's a snack. That's your snacking or your meals for your journey home.
Usually I do pick up a couple of Earl of sandwiches.
Ah, yeah. Bread pudding.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, I set Jane a challenge and I set myself a challenge. Jane is going to go and make a visit to the shortest, I don't know if you can believe this, the shortest Epcot festival, which is the Festival of the Holidays. And I said to Jane, I'm going to give you $35 a day. What could you spend on a trip if you were going to meander around World Showcase, where you could possibly get yourself a little beverage, a main meal and a dessert? I did the same, but I was being a little bit more Yorkshire and a little bit more frugal, and I was trying to see if I could manage a under $10 treatette every time I go into World Showcase. So Jane, take it away.
Well, actually, this was, in some respects, quite difficult to spend as much as that, if that makes sense, because obviously these are all, portion-wise, they're bites, aren't they? They're not, full-blown meals as such. So therefore, the prices are commensurate with portion sizes in the vast majority cases. However, I did go through everything looking, and I was quite particular because I thought I'm not just going to pick things that are expensive, although I can tell you which are the most expensive. I thought I'm still going to pick things that I would genuinely go for. And I also wanted to pick things that felt a bit festively, if that makes sense, as in holiday vibe, as in a bit of a Christmassy vibe going on. So for my main is I'm over at the refreshment port. Nowhere very exciting, but that's because they do the turkey poutine, sweet potato fries, turkey gravy, cranberry relish, and crispy onions for $9. Now, come on, it's turkey, there's gravy, there's cranberry. Is that not just screaming Christmas?
Turkey and chips.
Yeah.
It's leftover Boxing Day fodder.
It's amazing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was straight off the page when I was reading through. I have to say that the most expensive main option, if you wanted to go for something really, really expensive, was over at Bubbles and Brian. They do a jumbo shrimp cocktail with Prosecco cocktail sauce and grilled lemon, and that came in at a whopping $14.
Wow.
I just didn't think shrimp cocktail was for me for Christmas. It just wasn't screaming out. I'm not that big a shrimp cocktail fan either, which is kind of why I veered away from it. But I'm guessing because it's jumbo shrimp and it's Prosecco cocktail sauce, that's where the price is coming in.
I do have many a memory of growing up and having appetizers on Christmas Day, and my mum would literally get a little mini crystal glass for each of us, a little bit of iceberg in the bottom, defrost some frozen prawns, slap on a jar of prawn dressing, and ta-da, here you go, here's your exotic dessert starter to the delightful Christmas meal. And it's like everything was cold, everything was wet, everything was like mush.
Yeah, I think our mums probably had the same thought process, Jo. That's all I shall say. But yeah, shall we go on to pudding now?
Always game for a bit of pudding.
Now, I have actually gone for the most expensive dessert that I could find. And only because, and you'll know why when I tell you what it is, because it's right up my street. Although I do have one that would kind of come in a cool second.
Okay.
This is over at the funnel cake stand. So, the Holiday Cinnamon Celebration Funnel Cake, topped with powdered sugar, vanilla ice cream, cinnamon cookie crunch, cream cheese whipped cream, and gold dust.
Hang on, gold dust?
Yeah, apparently, and I left this bit out, but apparently it's inspired by the culinary treasures of the Kingdom of Roses in Disney's all-new animated musical film Wish.
Ah, a little bit of discreet marketing there then.
Yeah, which I didn't think was relevant. But anyway, $12. $12 for funnel cake.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
How much is a standard funnel cake? It's about $10 now, isn't it?
Must be around about that, yeah. But it did scream out. You know what I do like a bit of funnel cake. The fact that it was cinnamon and cinnamon cookie crunch and cream cheese, it was kind of like, it was ticking all of my boxes. It really was. However, if I was being a bit cautious, and I mean, I don't know whether you've picked this, obviously we haven't conferred, have we, at all? But over at Holiday Hearth Dessert, they do an apple caramel crumb cake, which is only $4.75, but that would have been my other choice had I have not been trying to get as much money spent as possible. Drink-wise, I'm going to have La Joie de Noël, which is vodka, Grey Goose vodka, cold brew coffee, sea salt caramel toffee, and peppermint, which is a little bit iffy because I'm not a big peppermint fan. And that's for $11.75. So again, it's my kind of drink. I'm probably a vodka kind of girl, and with the cold brew coffee being in there as well, that kind of floats my boat. I mean, there are way more expensive drinks out there, I'll have to say. Again, going over to Bubbles and Brine, if you wanted to, you could have some Moet and Chandon Imperial Champagne for $21. Or how about some Veuve Clicquot Rosé for $38? Or why don't we just push the boat out, have a bit of Dom Perignon for a mere $69? But I didn't do that.
That sounds very decadent, Jane.
It's more decadent than I want to be. That's why I'm sticking to my vodka drink instead.
Okay, cool.
Now, I did think, if I had a little bit of extra to spare, because initially it was looking a bit tricky as to how much I was going to be able to spend. I did think I could throw in a cheeky cheese course. Would I be allowed to do that?
Always room for a cheeky cheese course.
Well, over at Wine and Wedge, they do a Boursin fig and balsamic souffle with fig tapenade for $5.75, which I thought, ooh, and I saw the picture and it looked rather yummy. So that would be my bonus to tag on.
Nice.
Because if I went for just the vodka drink, the funnel cake, and the poutine, I'd come in at $32.75. So would I be allowed an extra $5.75 on top, which take me over the $35? You see?
Yeah, go on.
Are you feeling generous?
Right, well that sounds all very, very delicious, Jane. And I'm going to struggle with mine because I've given myself a real task of having a lot less money than Jane has. And I was trying to think of things that I personally would actually be putting my hand in my pocket about, because my budget is very minimalistic this trip. I am trying to live at Walt Disney World each and every day for under $30 a day.
You can do it, Shell. I have every faith in you.
I hope I can do it, Janie. I really, really do. And I know I've already said before on the show, I'm going to be making my own gingerbread lattes in the room because I've got a very plush coffee maker and I've got a little mini bottle of gingerbread syrup to take with me in my little coffee cup that I will go out to the parks with. I'm also going to be making in-room porridge to line the old dumpster before I go out because, issues with food at the moment causing me a lot of distress and hence loss of voice. I'm being quite poorly. And the surgery. So I've got to be really cautious on what I'm eating because I've got triggers all over the place. So I went for things that I know are going to be relatively okay and fit in with my tighter than tight budget. And the first place I'm going to go to is the American Holiday Table because for me, I love the food of Christmas. I love the food of Christmas even more when somebody else has done all the prep, the shopping and cooking and cleaning up after me. So I'm going to go and have a Christmas dinner on a little tiny brown takeout little box of slow roasted turkey, stuffing, mash, green beans and cranberry sauce, which is something I possibly would be making at home myself. And that is $6.25. So I think that is pretty good value.
Yeah, fun actually. We've both kind of gone for the traditional Christmas fare, haven't we?
Yeah, because at home, when I'm going to get eventually home from this amazing trip I'm going to have, we are not having a white meat. We are having ham this year. So, yeah.
Ah.
So I was quite excited about that. I will be doing the cookie stroll, but I didn't get tempted by the gingerbread cookie. To me, I love gingerbread cookies, but the reports I've been hearing from friends who have been and tried this one, it's not the best.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
Yeah. So I'm going to go on and make my little trip next to the Bavaria Holiday Kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Now, Hubster and I are both going to get this deal here because it is going to be a meal of the day for me. It's a pork schnitzel with mushroom sauce, spatzel and braised red cabbage. $6.50 a meal in a tiny plate. And then on the side, we are going to share the cheese fondue. So we'll get the cheese out of the bread and we'll pour it all over the porky schnitzel. And then we'll be sort of drowning in the gorgeous, sumptuous fondue loveliness.
I must admit, I did see that one. I thought, oh, that does sound rather... I'm not sure whether Florida weather is suitable for it, but it sounds like something over here on a really cold winter's day would be, just that warming from inside sort of vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, it is a little bit expensive at $8.25, but you get that massive big hunk of bread and you get some baby vegetables as well with it. So I think that, shared between the two of us, will work. And then we're on for a trio, Jane.
Oh, okay.
The Linzer cookie is meant to be one of the highlight cookie stroll items. And at $3, that for me, I will be probably buying a few of.
Okay.
Now, I know it's not Festival of the Holidays,
but yeah,
I'll be going around the corner, going to the quick serve and picking myself the pretzel bread pudding.
Oh,
Marla, give me a high five, darling. You know I'm there. I'm taking one for the team, babes. Now, none of the alcohols really, really hit me, and I am still seething with the fact that my favourite German Schafferhofer beer in Epcot is like $12, $13 when I can buy a tin back home for $2.50.
Yeah.
So, no alcohol for Shelley Welly.
So that stings a bit, doesn't it? I think whenever when you can get something, outside of the parks for such a distinctly different price, it's a bit galling, really.
It is, and it's not just a 50% markup either. It's a massive markup. So, yeah, missing that. But like you, the apple caramel crumb cake drew me in at $4.75 from Holiday Hearth Desserts. That is a must for me. I've not heard of one person having a bad experience with this cake. What's more there to like? Apples, cinnamony, caramelly, crummy, cakey, yummy, under $5.
I think there's quite a few nice ones over at Holiday Hearth as well. I must admit, when I looked down their list, I thought, there's not really one that kind of jumped out at me. And I thought, no, I wouldn't be interested. They were all, they're all quite enticing.
Yeah, they've got a salted caramel Spaceship Earth cookie for $5.50, and I just felt the price point for me was a little bit too much. Iconic shape, loving it, but put it on the cookie stroll for $3 and I'd be there.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
It's just not for me at all. And yeah, I know a lot of people have got really excited about the Las Posadas Holiday Kitchen with the giant tostada. Loads of people are talking about that. However, it's $11.50.
Yeah, again, this kind of came in close when I was looking for my options, but it wasn't Christmassy enough for me.
Yeah, and for me, I don't do black beans. That's out. I can't eat chorizo. I can't eat salsa verde. I can't eat the cheese. I can't eat pickled onions. So basically, I will be eating a empty tostada, and I think $11.50 is just out of my budget.
Yeah.
So, my final pick. Now, I was really, really confused at first about where else could I go and pick something up that's going to get me interested and excited about. And I looked at lots and lots of alternative places that I could go. And you've already mentioned this place once already, and that's the Refreshment Outpost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How about this, Jane? Peanut stew with sweet potatoes, mustard greens and roasted peanuts, plant-based dining at $5.25.
Yeah, I must admit I'm not a peanut person, so that wouldn't appeal to me at all. But again, when I saw that, I thought, it's another one that comes across as being quite a hearty, wintry sort of vibe dish.
Yeah, so those are the things I will actually be trying out. I might even be persuaded to go and pick up a Dole Whip in the raspberry flavour while I am there, because it'd be rude not to.
Well, one has to make sure that one's tried all of the different Dole Whip varieties in the world, doesn't one?
Completely. I do gather there are 2 non-alcoholic beverages at the refreshment part, which I might endeavour for my husband to try. He loves a good milkshake, gingerbread milkshake, $4.75, and they have a non-alcoholic eggnog at $4.25.
Maybe the best way to have eggnog, to be fair.
I think the best way personally to have eggnog is to get it in a cup and throw it down the toilet and then miss me out completely.
Yes, it's not something I would ever naturally think of having, I have to admit.
No, it just reminds me of growing up and having all my aunties there with, oh, let's have a snowball. And they get the cherry and they'd give me the cherry because I love cherries. And it's just like, can I rinse off the yellow sicky goop first? It's just not a drink I personally enjoy to my taste anyway.
No, I think we grew up in the world of snowballs and baby sham, didn't we?
Snowballs, baby sham, Pernod and Black was the rage, I remember back in the day.
Port and lemonade.
Oh, have I ever told you the story about how my parents got me drunk when I was a child?
Bad parents.
I've never told you this.
I don't think so, Michelle.
No one's listening, I'll tell you. Get comfy.
Sure.
We used to always go on holiday with our family, with aunties and uncles and cousins and whatever. And traditionally, we'd always go away the last week in May because that's when all the schools closed down, and traditionally a lot of the employers in the area shut for that period. And we'd end up going with all sorts of members of the family. And one year we went with my Auntie Christine, who I love more than anything, and her 2 boys, Andrew and Mark, and we were in the hotel nightclub. Now, Mark drank fizzy pop. My brother and I drunk fizzy pop, but my cousin Andrew could not manage fizzy pop. He had to have a glass of water. You're probably guessing where this is going. So we're at this little nightclub. I'm probably about 6 at this time, bopping away, enjoying myself, but getting quite a thirst on. Adding to the mix of this story that my mummy used to go out and take her own bottle of Bacardi with her in her handbag and just sneak it into the glass of Coke so she didn't have to pay the expensive alcohol prices overseas.
Yes.
Now, I've been dancing, little 6-year-old running around, no coordination. Oh, look, there's Mummy and Daddy's table. Oh, look, there's Andrew's glass of water on the table. Oh, I'm thirsty. Let's down it. What I didn't realise till I finished it and had the burning sensation of a hellfire going down my throat was it was not water. It was my mum's half pint of white Bacardi rum.
Nice. In a 6-year-old's body.
Yeah.
That must have been a good mixture, Michelle.
It took my dad and 2 uncles to carry me up to the hotel, into the bedroom, plonk me on the bed with a great big bin by the side of me to produce little rainbows.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. I didn't do that twice because, oh my word, I can never look at white Bacardi rum ever in the same way because I still feel that burn in my throat.
And I bet your mum was mortified.
Yes, a little bit of embarrassment going on. But however, they find it incredibly funny now. And yes, parents.
Unfortunately, we are now those parents, Michelle. So I'm sure ours will have equally interesting stories to recall in their later years.
Yeah, at least it answered the question why when I was growing up my mum always went out with a really big handbag.
I like a style though.
Yeah, bless her, little Alki. Love her to bits. Right, well, we will wrap up this week's show with a great big bow and say thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Follow us along on their Instagram at DizDreamGirls when I get to Florida, I will be posting all sorts of content there on our Disney Dream Girls podcast family page over on Facebook, and some exclusive audio bits and pieces for our wonderful Patreon supporters for them to enjoy and get some lovely, warm, lovely Christmas feelings going on. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we will be having can we just sort of say a mild hiatus at some point in January while I have my surgery and recover, but we won't be missing from the airwaves too long. Anyway, until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.